Welcome to the OTZKI Fermented kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to ferment red cabbage and the benefits and why everyone should have a fermented shelf in their kitchens, especially for the children that are going to school. The first thing you need is a big red cabbage, organic, definitely organic. If you're in Devon, you can get them in Chillingford Organic Farm. And today I'm going to use a white cabbage as well, but the main one is the red cabbage. I'm adding some flavour to it, which is smoked chilies. That gives it a nice taste. And then you need 2 tablespoons of Himalayan salt, or maybe a little bit more. But you can basically gauge that by how much water is coming out of the vegetables. And you need a big bowl to basically massage the red cabbage, a good sharp knife and a chopping board and some old jam jars. Alright. Okay, so you've basically got to cut the cabbage as thin as possible with a really good knife, and then the bowl that you use is ceramic or glass bowl. Never use metal when fermenting. And you could put it through a blender or a machine if you don't want to cut it, but I like to feel connected to my red cabbage, so I do it all by hand and with love. So I put the energy into the cabbage as well when I'm doing it. The joy of fermenting food, you can be as creative as you like depending on what flavours you like or how spicy you like. My favourite is the smoked chilies, but if you don't like chilli, you don't have to add that. You could add cumin, curry powder, anything that you like. The main thing that gets the ferment is the salt. So as soon as you add salt to anything, that then becomes a ferment. So you can do it with meat. I just like to stick to the vegetables. So the reason why I use Himalayan salt is it's got the most mineral content in it. So and nicely grinded up as well. So I use about 2 tablespoons of salt, but you can gradually add it in. Eventually you will get to feel how much to add. But I worked about 2 tablespoons and see how it goes. And also with fermenting, it depends on the time of year as well. So in the summer, your ferments will be quicker than in the winter. So you can go with a lot with feel, which is nice. So you basically add the salt in, and then this is my favourite bit, which you can do it another way, which you can mix the salt and the water together and do it that way, make your own brine. But this is the way I like to do it. So you're massaging the cabbage. So I've learnt basically two techniques, and I prefer this technique, which is massaging, so I feel connected to the cabbage and bringing out the water by massaging it. And it takes longer, so if you want to do a quick way, I would do the salt and filtered water and do it that way. But this is kind of the nicest way to get a lovely brine yourself. I learnt two different techniques from 2 different countries. Japan, they tend to just add the water and add the salt, do that separately. But in Thailand, I was taught to massage. So I always set a day aside once a month where it's a fermenting day, which we call it, basically try and do it on Sunday Fun Day. So we set aside this time just to ferment and get everything prepared for the next month. But you always once you start fermenting, you always want to have a supply of fermented stuff. Once you start, you can't stop. It's quite addictive, in a nice way. My children absolutely love it, especially the little one. But the other important thing is to wear an apron. So, because you can get quite dirty. Or purple. So you can basically ferment any kind of vegetable, but if you were, say, going to be fermenting cucumber, you wouldn't be massaging cucumbers because they would just go to a mush. But so you basically feel what you could, like you could know that you could massage a carrot, but you can't massage a cucumber. Sounds pretty disgusting, really, but it's funny. In your 20s you talk about things, and in your 30s you're talking about red cabbage. So yeah, so beetroot is a good one. You can massage that, but that again, if you want to have purple hands and stained hands, you can do it this way. But if you don't, you can do it the brine way. So basically, store-bought fermented food is not the same. They have to put it through a pasteurised system and heat it, so you're not going to get the bacteria. So you really do need to be doing it yourself. I know it does seem like hard work, but it is a life-changing thing, and the benefits are amazing. So you want to have one day a month where you ferment. And once you've got it and it's all fermenting, that's it. Then it's easy. You just go to the jar and eat it. So basically now I've massaged it for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I can feel that the water's starting to is coming out now, so it's ready to go into the jar. I'm going to add my flavour, which is the smoked chilies. So I've added 1 smoked chilli to this, and just mix it up. You can have it spicy or not spicy, and mix that up with a wooden spoon. And then you basically need to get your jam jar and start putting it into the jar. So you really need to be pushing. You put it in the jar and then push it down into layers, so you can get quite a lot in here. You'd be amazed how much fits in. You think at first you're going to have loads of red cabbage, but actually it ends up being not very much. So just place it in. What I like about the fermented food, so I'm nearly got everything in the jar now. Just got to really push it down, and you notice as you push it down there's a layer of water starts to come up, and that's the brine, and you basically want a little bit of water on the top of the jar at the end. So just keep pushing it down. You'll be amazed how much you get in the jar. You think at first you're going to have so much red cabbage, but everything seems to go down into the jar. And see, as you see, there's a layer of water on the top now. So that is ready. And you put your lid on it. Put the lid on it, and there's a white lid. Put your lid on it, close it up, and that's ready. That will be ready in about 10 days.
What are you doing, Mummy?
Put it in there and what would you do? So basically, that's done now. It's all in the jar. You put the lid on it. Put it aside for 1 day, and then next day, basically just take the lid off, just to release the carbon dioxide, and then put the lid back on again and put it back in the cupboard. Basically store it at room temperature for 10 days roughly, but sometimes it could be a little bit longer, but you can tell by the taste of it once it's fermented. You'll get used to the fermented taste, but it's like a really salty taste, and a bit sour. You'll get used to the different tastes as you go on. Okay, so that's basically in the jar. Fermenting's done. Hands are purple, so the best way to get rid of the purple hands is to put lemon on them. That will take away the purpleness. And basically, if you want to follow me on my website, which is www.OTZKI.com, you can see all the recipes online. Or if you want to do the 28-day Fuel for Adventure plan, that's also on there, which is all my recipes and basically food to give you energy for life and live bacteria. So you can then feel like you can do your adventures and live your dreams.